People like crossed London sideways to be here. Thank you. Some people that I saw the last time I was in London. Thank you. Simon, please.
Okay, so yeah, my name's Simon Price, and I'm going to talk a little bit about myself before I introduce Richard, because most of it's going to be about Richard and his work. But I've got to get my bit of advertising in for me. So my name's Simon Price. I've been writing about music since the 80s, starting at the Barring District News when I was still a schoolboy in South Wales. I went on to work at Melody Maker for 9 years, The Independent on Sunday for 12 years, and in the middle I wrote a best-selling book about the Manic Street Preachers. Most recently, I've written a biography about The Cure, Curepedia. So I'm going to talk about that briefly just for a moment because, as I say, mostly we'll be talking about Richard and his photography. And both of us will be sticking around afterwards to sign copies of our respective books, which HENGE have on sale at the back there. The first thing to say about Curepedia is that it's massive. I've got some stats here, okay. It's roughly half the length of the King James Bible. I mean, size isn't everything, but, you know, go with me here. It's almost twice the length of the New Testament and well over half the length of the Old Testament. It's over a third of the length of the complete works of Shakespeare. It's longer than the Game of Thrones and Ulysses. It's about the same length as the Fountainhead, Middlemarch, and Gravity's Rainbow, but it's better than all three of those. It's written in an A to Z format, which gave me the freedom to really write kind of unchained from the tyranny of the timeline. I had the freedom, because it's an A to Z format, to, you know, forget about the kind of chronological order of events. So there are essays on, obviously, every band member, every album, every single, as you'd expect by The Cure, but also topics like sex, politics, religion, literature, alcohol, drugs, hair, makeup, Englishness, football, and so on. That suits the way I write. It's how I look at music. I'm always fascinated by the social and cultural context beyond the music itself. And The Cure, I think, are a particularly rich band for writing that way, because there are so many allusions and associations and external references in what they do. So in the introduction to Curepedia, I say, it turns out that writing a book about The Cure means writing a book about everything. And it really felt like that. It was an insane undertaking, so much research, just reading and listening to every interview I could find with The Cure going back to 1978. It took 3 years. It probably shouldn't have done, but, you know, that's why it's so massive. And if I say so myself, blowing my own trumpet, it was worth it. Because the other thing to say about Curepedia, if I do say so myself, it's really good, okay? It's been very well received. Not only that, but it looks great, largely thanks to the photo of Robert Smith on the front, which was taken by none other than, please welcome, Richard Bellia.
Thank you.
So, Richard, let's talk a little bit about how you got started. So, you grew up in, I've got to pronounce this correctly, is it Longwy or Longwy?
Longwy, great.
Which is a small town in the northeast of France. So how did photography become part of your life? You studied at school, is that right?
Not at all.
You didn't?
No. I went to a festival in 1980, in June 80.
In France?
In France, in my region, where the two headline bands were The Cure and then The Clash. So that was a good evening. And then after that, a friend of mine who had a camera took some photos. And like two weeks after the concert, he showed me the photos and I said, fuck. I thought two things. I thought, this is cool. And also I said, they're not very good, these photos. I mean, if you put a little bit of heart in your work, surely I could have made better.
Was this one of them here that we're seeing?
So shortly after, I worked that summer of 80, and I bought my first camera, and then I went to my first Cure concert with a camera, and I took those photos here,
So it's fair to say the Cure really kind of changed your life.
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was such a nice person before that. Yeah.
So they became maybe the band you've worked with more than any other band. Is that right? You don't know?
Yeah, well, yeah. The band that I photographed the most, the band I'm the most in contact with, the band I've seen the most. Yeah, sure.
You've previously done exhibitions that are just your work on the Cure, and it seems that they must have trusted you from the beginning, because look at pictures like this. They allowed you, the access just to take these kind of...
Alors, yes, but it's not the Cure, it's Robert.
Yeah, okay.
I never dealt with anyone at the record company. LOL was not in the position to say, let this guy in and blah, blah, blah. And I've been told recently that Simon Gallup doesn't like me anymore at all. I was told that he calls me fucking Bellia. So that Robert told me this, right? So again, and I never was so much in contact with anyone at Fiction or the record company for that respect. So literally, my relationship is literally with Robert, because whenever I have to ask something, I ask Robert. But I've done this for all my adult life.
Yeah. And I think now more than ever, the Cure is Robert in terms of the organisation. They don't really have management. He just sorts everything out. So, yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So we'll come back to the Cure later. But you moved to London in 1985. I believe you were living. Is it Camberwell, not far from here?
I was in Camberwell. Yeah. I found a squat on the top of Camberwell Grove.
Yeah.
And I lived there all my time in England. The Bobby Gillespie photo.
Yeah.
On a motorbike, which has been used for the cover of his biography. That's literally taken outside of my house in Camberwell.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right. So you began working for the music.
I would casually have Blur or Primal Scream pop over to have that photo taken.
So you were working for the music papers, especially Melody Maker, I think.
Correct. Yeah. I was also in contact with French magazines and French newspapers who were kind of happy to have a French photographer based in London.
So like Les Enrecuptibles?
Les Enrecuptibles, they started, and then they contacted me after issue number 2 or 3 or something like that. Libération was like a big supporter of the Cure. They were happy to have my photos.
Yeah. So this was a very sort of useful place for you to be around that time, then.
Yeah, if you want to make 20 quid per month with your photo. Yes.
So this photo here, obviously, everyone recognises the location just around the corner from here, Brixton Academy. I was actually at this gig, Run DMC and the Beastie Boys in 1987. Absolutely mind-blowing concert. And I guess quite a historic one. And here's a picture of you.
Oh, that's me on the bottom.
There you are. There you are, inside Brixton Academy.
Yeah, that's me with my big nose in front of and hair in front of Morrissey. And this is the last concert of the Smiths. Yeah,
the Smiths' final ever gig. I had tickets for this, but I couldn't go. I did see them a couple of times, but not that one. But you seem to have been present at a lot of historic events. So historic often means the first of something, but you were there for a lot of, the last time of something. So the last Smiths gig. I have
a couple. Yeah.
Clash there. That was their last.
So that is the last Clash concert in Athens in Greece. Yeah.
So do you find yourself aware in the photo pit that this is history, and you're the one who's documenting it?
No. The people, you were talking to Push already. Like, the people who know me know that I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I'm going like, and only later I realized that what I did. But like being with. My expression is I have my 2 elbows on the stage and my job is to be creative.
Yeah.
Like your job is to be in front of David Bowie with your 2 elbows on the stage, and people expect you to be creative. And that's, for me, the definition of the best job on earth. No one will gonna change my mind. Never. No, don't even try. So this is my energy. But like thinking as I take the photo, oh shit, this is an historical moment.
Yeah.
When I'll be 60, people are going to be so fascinated by my youth. No, I don't think like that.
So you did a lot of live photography around this time, and in the music papers. Some of the photos you've taken around that time are so vivid, you can almost hear the music when you look at them. This one here, I'd look at that and I can just imagine the sound here, the noise of that. This Guns N' Roses, the Marquee, I think, in the late 80s.
It was their first concert outside of America.
Was it? So they were still quite not unknown, but they were just starting to become known.
No, they were. The music business said they are going to be the most dangerous band on earth, as they said at the time, and so they came to do the Marquee, and then the following concert they would be playing the big festivals.
And this tour, I remember,
That's Brixton Academy.
This is Anthrax and Public Enemy.
That is the best thing I heard in my ears ever.
Yeah.
That's Public Enemy and Anthrax playing Bring the Noise in front of me, and I had a Leica M4. I mean, this is absolutely the shit.
Yeah.
And this is the shit. This was like really, really, really good. Yeah.
I had the first time I had any features in Melody Maker, I went from 0 to 3 in the same issue. It was Daisy Chainsaw on the front cover, Manic Street Preachers doing a video shoot, and Public Enemy and Anthrax on that tour. So it means a lot to me, that tour. And yeah, you're right. That version of Bring the Noise with Anthrax, it's an incredible
I'm
track.
still shaking. It was really, and they really looked like they were having fun and shit.
Yeah.
It was really good. Yeah.
I suppose some artists must be a real gift to photographers because of the contortions they make with their bodies. Iggy Pop being an obvious example. But then you've got someone like David Bowie, Brixton boy, of course, David Bowie, who was maybe a bit more considered, a bit more controlled with his poses, which also must be, in a different way, very useful for a photographer if they're very aware of the shapes that they're...
Oui, of course. But regarde, it changed so much. Like when you see bands like that are on stage in now in the year 2020 in the 20s, right? You don't really see any musicians who who put so much effort and energy in looking cool and like I say it in French. Ils ont tous des culs en plâtre et des bras en mousse. They all have asses like of plaster and the arms made of foam. Le cul en plâtre et les bras en mousse. Whereas Bowie was like so much like.
Yeah,
I have nostalgia for that.
Yeah. Of course, you have photographed countless Cure gigs. Where and when was this one?
I cannot remember. I'm sorry. I cannot remember.
I actually wrote about this in Curepedia. So this was a festival that was funded by the Greek government minister Melina Mercouri in Athens in '85. There was a riot. There'd been a riot the previous day. Were you there?
Yeah. But Melina Mercouri was only Minister of Culture that day. That's the day she was. Yeah.
Right.
And in fact, the Greek people said, the Greek people thought that it was like prices too expensive for them. And also it was largely paid and subsidized by the government. Yeah. And so the Greek people said, look, we paid already for this concert, we should get in for free. Because it's subsidized by the government.
Yeah.
And 100% of what's on stage comes from England or France. There was the French band Telephone, Nina Hagen from Germany, Depeche Mode, Cure, Stranglers, Boy George, Talk, and yet another one. There was
Clash,
four.
The Clash play that one?
And the Clash. And so there was 4 bands every day, and none of them were Greek. And it was in the Panathinaikos Stadium of Athens. Yeah. So the day 2, the Greek people said, look, let us in.
The story I heard was that Depeche Mode and The Cure had to flee in the same bus. The Cure was sort of hiding in the back of Depeche Mode's bus. And that's before The Cure had even played. They played the following night. And they could have just pulled the show, but they went ahead with it. They just thought, fuck it, we're going to do it. But
What? My recollection is Depeche Mode, who were like, as usual, didn't want to have their photo taken and shit like that. Okay, and also bear in mind that the previous weekend there was a festival in the west of France, in Brittany, with almost the same bill. Okay, and organized by the same people. And it's very likely that the people say, look, we've got 2 concerts of The Clash, 2 concerts of Nina Hagen, Depeche Mode, and shit like that. One in Brittany that we organize, and one that we sell to the Greek government. So I know the people who did this. I don't trust them.
Oh, really?
So it's very logic in my mind that they say, figure out, suppose the first gig in Brittany, we pay you little, but then you go to Greece and you take good money, type of thing.
Yeah. So The Cure were obviously such a photogenic band to shoot live around this time. You don't even need their faces. I mean, their hair is charismatic enough on its own without their faces.
Yes.
Obviously you've used silhouette a lot, but does Robert...
My idea is that when Simon Gallup left The Cure, Robert was alone and fucking miserable. He didn't have a band anymore.
In about 82 now.
82, so 83, 4, when I was in studio with them. Robert was alone. His musician was his brother-in-law, the guy who's married to his sister, Paul Thompson.
Yeah.
The bass player was his producer, and the drummer was a guy that they'd found in studio. Okay, so like literally, Robert, he was alone, and he was like, "Have you ever tried to seduce back an ex-girlfriend, saying, look, I've changed, please come back," type of thing, right? Yeah. I believe that's what Robert he did. After Simon Gallup left the band, because he made like electronic music, things really moody with The Glove and Severin, things like Let's Go to Bed, very happy and upbeat, things like The Love Cat, da-da-da. So literally, he was like making the dance of seduction to his old friend Simon Gallup. Said, come back, we will do exactly what you want. I've changed, look, here's the catalogue. You pick what you want and I will accept.
I've never heard this interpretation of what happened before, but I like it.
And then Simon Gallup, he says, okay, I come back, but everyone has this hair like that. Robert said, please. So Robert said, okay. So Robert, he has the hair like that because he wanted his old friend Simon back. And so that's 85, your photo. And after 1 year, Robert, he fucking cannot take it anymore to have his hair like that. So what does he do? He fucking shaves his hair.
In France, yeah.
So it's not the look of The Cure is Simon Gallup saying, I come back under condition.
That's really interesting.
This is why he doesn't like me, because I know the truth.
It's
it's called me fucking Bellia. Oh, come on, Peter.
But Robert will often, I believe Robert recognises you in the photo pit and he'll acknowledge you and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, he does this. Yeah.
That's nice that you know.
Yeah, well, yes. Well.
Yeah,
it's a habit to say hello or tu vois? Well, yeah.
I read an interview with you once where you said that one mistake that a lot of young photographers make when they're doing live shots is they don't realise that a microphone in front of a singer's face usually looks pretty bad. Here's a photo, Radiohead. You've caught the perfect moment where Tom has just moved back from the microphone so you actually get his face. But you're absolutely right. A lot of live photos are kind of spoiled by that. But you don't like this one?
No.
All right, moving on.
No. Come back. Don't you see the mistake?
What is it?
Alors, when you do a photography, you develop your film. Has anyone ever developed their film? Yeah, okay. In a tank, and the tank must be really dry. When you put your film in the tank inside must be very dry so that it goes well. And if it's not, because you're an idiot like me, and the inside of your tank is a bit wet, So as you roll the film inside the tank, it stands to stick, and then it jumps off the rail and stick to each other. And so this is why all the right side of the image is darker, because literally the film is stuck to itself.
You could have just pretended it was the spotlight or something, but it's very honest of you.
No. Yeah. This is the last. This is when you. This is the photo number 12. When you fit your film in the developer. And the other mistake with this Radiohead thing is incredible, because like this is square photo with the Hasselblad, and you can take 12 photos, right? You can take 12 photos with husband. And very unfortunately, the support band was my little brother, and I take 10 photos of my brother.
Oh, that's loyalty. I love this photo. Okay.
And then Radiohead, I take 2 photos and I have them.
Sometimes
and I fuck it when I develop it. So literally, it's nothing. I'm glad you like it, but I should have...
Well, one way of avoiding the problem of catching somebody's face at just the right moment is to forget about their face altogether.
Sure.
This picture here, I love this photo. It's a band called Crazy Heads. I don't know if many of you remember them. Most people have probably forgotten them. But it captures something of the dynamism of that gig,
Oui.
And this became a bit of a signature of yours. Instead of waiting around for musicians to face your way, you took a picture of their arses, So here we've got Paul Simonon of The Clash, we've got Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. It's a nice little signature in some of your pictures that you would do that.
Well, if I photograph the arse of a guy every 15 years, it's not exactly a style. It is just like
I'm selecting them.
It's not a signature thing. But come on,
You did a lot of session work as well, a lot of portrait work. So I would imagine there must be some artists who have a very strong idea of how they want to be portrayed, and there must be other artists who have got no idea at all, really. And they expect you to come up with all the ideas. Which do you prefer to work with? People who have got strong ideas, or people just let you direct them?
What I like best is when at the end of the day it is my photo and not theirs. Let me explain you. For instance, if you take a photo, how should I say that? Some bands exist philosophically because all the musicians are equal.
Yeah.
So you have this in the rap, this in the heavy metal, this also with the boys bands. Okay, they don't have one is more important than the other. The group itself is the thing. So when they take their photo, they're always in a straight line. So it can be a Metallica or it can be a One Direction. It doesn't change nothing. They're going to be in a straight line. Mm-hmm. Okay, and in fact, if you want to give some energy to your photo, you want to have one guy in the front, something like that. Likewise, when people want to look dirty or dangerous or shit like that, they're gonna make gesture with your hands, and you say,
LL Cool J.
Yeah. But if you do that your own way, as you would do it the last time you shot a video or shit like that, this is what I call. I believe it's not my photo; it's theirs.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So at the end of the day, what I want it's my photo. Yeah. So literally, LL, I was holding this hand to say, look, we have a very good angle, and he was with his idiot bodyguard who wanted to be on the photo for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't fucking know who this guy is, but he wanted to be on the. He was with him.
I thought, is that his DJ or something? No, just a
bodyguard. He was there, right?
I like this picture of McCartney. It's interesting because McCartney was such an establishment figure in music, but by posing him in front of this Andy Warhol image of the Queen, there's almost something punk about it because it evokes, Jamie Reid and the Sex Pistols and all that kind of stuff, but with McCartney in front of it.
Yeah. I gave I don't say it too often, but well, it's okay. So it was a long time ago. But I gave this print to Teenage Cancer Trust.
Okay.
Even though English people, it's not my blood, so they die. What can I do? But still, I thought maybe I would help for Teenage Cancer Trust. Yeah. And there was an auction at Abbey Road, and they made £1,000 with my work. So I was like, whoa. Yeah.
This picture of Lee Scratch Perry.
We did it with Push. Push is here, no? My friend Johnny's Push is here, yeah? And we did this together. He was writing for the Melody Maker.
Oh, for this one now?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, this one here, yeah.
So, yeah, I wonder what the story is here. What's going on? Was there a significance to that grave? Or, well, you know, what's...
No. In fact, Mute...
this is in London, or where?
That's the... in the north, God, it's called Highgate Cemetery. Sorry, and because he was on Mute Records, and in this area, Mute Records is in the Harrow Road, and in this area there's like absolutely nothing. It's like really, really ugly, and so he had decided to have his photo taken over there. So we went. I think we took a car. Push will confirm, but I think we were together. Yeah, is he gone? Push. You confirm, right? So and my idea with Lee Perry is he would absolutely freak out if anyone ever thought that he is normal. So anytime you meet Lee Perry, in the first 5-10 minutes, he's going to make pure bullshit so that you are absolutely convinced that the guy is fucking like that. So Push was telling me the story of through London, I think with shoes and an electric heater, blah blah. He came to my place in Camberwell also. He wouldn't leave because he found my flatmate attractive and he was smoking joints and shit like that. It's danger, right?
Yeah. And incidentally, HENGE, where we are now, have a record label and they've put out a Lee Scratch Perry album.
Beautiful record.
So everything is connected.
Yeah, it's a beautiful record. Yeah.
So taking a picture of a band with lots of members stood in a line, you just talked about that. How about this? I mean, this must be challenging. A band with so many members. I really like the way you solved the problem here with panoramic.
But the girl on the left is facing the girl on the right.
This is Le Mystère des Voix Vulgaires.
Push was here with me again in Switzerland. Push, you were there, I think. This is they were like in a
semicircle.
In a semicircle, and I use a camera called Widelux, who takes a really wide. It's not a wide angle; it's a panoramic camera. It's 160 degrees, and you hold it like that, yeah.
This picture of John Lydon is really interesting. I couldn't figure out, is it live? Is it in a studio?
It's live, and it's when he played Paris, and it's on the balcony of l'Olympia.
Okay.
I was not on the photo pit, I was on the balcony.
Yeah.
So he's literally walking towards the audience.
It's so good, yeah. So I wanted to ask you about the photo you took of Robert, which we used on the front of Curepedia. The one on the left, that's the hardback version. It's a kind of stylized image based on the silhouette. On the paperback that's just come out, the second edition, we've used the actual photo. So, yeah, I just wondered if you could tell me a little bit about, because we've never spoken about this, about how it came about. There's the full picture.
So you recognize it's in a pub. On the top left, you see all the glass. You know, like his glass is is behind.
Is that a jukebox on the wall as well?
No, it's a cigarette machine.
It's a cigarette machine.
It's a cigarette machine, and it's a pub in Charlotte Street, across the street from Fiction Record in Charlotte Street, and the French television program Les Enfants du Rock, who were at the time using Just Like Heaven
as the
theme. They did a 20 minutes program about The Cure, including this interview. and while they were doing the interview, I was sideways taking photos. So literally, if you Google Les Enfants du Rock, The Cure special, blah blah blah, you see the same image but from front of him.
So what's this kind of white sheet or whatever?
This is how they would do television and lighting at the time.
Yeah.
Literally, you've got this with all this, this grid in front to make a softer light. The way you would do at the time is you would literally take pegs, you say pegs, yeah, and plastic, and just like filter the light. Yeah. So this is how they would do the light in cinema and television at the time.
And it works really well because obviously Robert is somebody who's very recognisable from his silhouette. We all know the Boys Don't Cry photo taken by Andy Vella, and there's so many images of Robert where you don't even need to see his face. Is Robert someone, in your experience, is he someone who really cares about how he looks in photos, about his image? And so one would imagine that he does. Yeah,
because he spends so much time with makeup and everything. Yeah. Well, you also, huh? But
well, I'm influenced by him.
But still. I think it's, but that's maybe something he lost because Simon said you have to do it from now, and I really don't know.
But is he somebody who would trust you to go with your vision, or does Robert come to you and say, right, I want to look like this?
No, we're not like that. I just hang around, I take photo casually, and I leave. And also, I don't want I really don't want to be friends with people. I don't want to be friends with people I photograph. So I never took time with Robert to like 5 years ago. We talked together for 45 minutes, and I thought maybe this is the longest I've ever spent with him ever. Like usually I say, oh hello, I take 2 photos, and I don't like hanging around with famous people and trying to be friends and say, ha, let's have our photo taken and shit like that. I'm just not like that. So as soon as I feel that I've done my photo, I vanish.
This is so interesting to me because in my experience as a journalist, it's the photographers who do end up being friends with the bands. The bands don't want to be, they don't trust journalists because, quite often we might slag them off, we'll slag off their records. You're not going to do that. All you're going to do is make them look really cool, you know?
Oui.
But you talk about just hanging around with people and sort of taking snaps. Quite a lot of your photos are, bands who appear to be off duty, and this goes back to the idea of bands trusting you. So I would imagine this picture of Bananarama in their dressing room is staged to some extent because they've all got their Ray-Bans on, but
no.
They just go. That's how Bananarama roll.
They just arrive. You see, they have what you call trainers. They were heavy drinkers, these girls.
Yeah.
The reason why they have shades is probably because all 3 of them look shit, for a start. No, but seriously, they were famous for being heavy drinkers, Bananarama.
And here's an example with the Cure. This is the Cure off duty in France in 1982. So presumably, in order to be able to take photos like this. And you've spoken about how you would contact Robert rather than the management. You were allowed access to follow them at quite close quarters.
That's the day one of the pornography tour in '82.
Yeah. The ill-fated pornography tour.
Yeah. I was lucky because
there's so much stuff in Curepedia about how this tour went horribly wrong, by the way. But anyway, yeah.
And I was myself a student, and or something. Yeah, and it was it was during the holidays, so I was kind of lucky to take time off and spend my holidays in the Cure.
And quite a lot of your pictures have the look almost of kind of like paparazzi photos, as if you've caught them by surprise. They weren't expecting you to get them. So Boy George, Leonard Cohen here. George doesn't look particularly happy here.
I think he's saying fuck off. No, he is. You're absolutely right. halfway between making portraits and paparazzi.
Yeah.
Paparazzi doesn't ask, and myself I say, "Oh, hello, can I take a photo?" They say, "No, fuck off." I say,
And there you say,
take
fuck
it.
off.
Yeah. But if you say fuck off to me, I don't talk to you for the rest of my life. When I saw him last year at Troxy, he was next to me at Troxy. I wouldn't talk to him. You say to me fuck off in 85. Do you think in 24 I forgot it?
You're like an elephant. You never forget. You hold grudges.
Me?
Yeah. I like this Lana Del. This is Lana Del Rey. It gives the impression of being done without permission, but it also encapsulates this kind of old school Hollywood glamour that Lana Del Rey likes to channel anyway.
Exactly. Alors, we were taking photos, and it was just before she would go on stage, and there were some people with the fans. They were like briefly meeting her before she was going on stage. So she was surrounded by maybe 10 people asking for autographs and everything. And then they say, "Okay, finish. Stop taking photos, you need to go on the stage and everything." And then Lana Del Rey says, no, there's a guy with a Hasselblad. And then
so because you had a vintage camera.
And then at that moment, like I remember so clearly, like all the audience, literally like the sea is opening, like whoosh. And I was like, whoosh. I heard Hasselblad, and the next thing I know, whoosh, I've got Lana Del Rey in front of me. That was
amazing.
Funny. Yeah.
So sometimes you really manage to capture the chaos and the craziness that's swirling around certain artists. Not so much this photo, but I'll explain why I chose it. So this is Nirvana, obviously. Piccadilly Circus, I think, right?
Correct.
So it inadvertently foreshadows what happened later, obviously with the newspaper headline about a suicide. But they can't have been that famous yet because nobody's bothering them, nobody's mobbing them, you know? But if I move on to the next picture, Nirvana, they're being absolutely mobbed by reporters here, this press conference in Rennes, I think.
Correct.
And there's something about it. It looks like a painting, like a classical. It could be like a Velasquez or Géricault or something like that. Do you know what I mean, though? Just all these
I was
different.
Casually doing my Velasquez thing. Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean, though? It's got that.
I can explain for 2 or 3 reasons.
Okay.
First of all, the light is the best light you can think of, because the festival Transmusical had a press area for journalists to talk to the artist, and there were so many people in December 91. Nevermind was out for 2 months, and they were selling thousands of records every day. The last time I heard Nirvana talking about figures, they were selling 8,000 records every day in England. That's the last time I heard Nirvana talking about their music in the backstage, right? So they were selling a lot of records. And so for this press conference, a lot of journalists wanted to talk to them, so they went next door, and they literally went on the stage of the theater of Rennes. So, of course, you have a beautiful light.
Right.
It's a fucking theater stage, right?
I can't even see Kurt in this picture.
No, he's not.
He's not there.
He's not here. It was Push can explain, I think. Push again was with me at that time, and he has more stories about it. And above Chris Novoselic, you see Keith Cameron from the NME.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know him. Wow, it's
Yeah.
amazing. I want to tell you the reason I chose these photos, because you work almost exclusively with film and mostly in black and white, but you made a interesting choice in these 2 photos, because what struck me about these photos, these are artists whose heydays were so far in the distant past, so it's Chuck Berry and Ray Charles, that in our imaginations these people exist in black and white, and you've used very vivid colour here. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I never thought like this.
You've caught him in the middle of the duck walk, by the way. I can imagine you just being there saying, come on, come towards me with a duck walk. Do that, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. But you don't obviously only photograph Anglo-American artists. You've worked with many French icons, and they don't get any bigger than Serge Gainsbourg, the true genius of French pop.
Correct.
Do you want to say fuck you to Serge Gainsbourg beyond the grave?
No.
Or no. You know, you're okay with Serge?
No,
okay.
Serge.
Tell me about working with him, because I'm fascinated.
No, Serge. So this photo to the left, I was very, very, very impressed because I was 23-year-old at the time, and having Gainsbourg in front of you, age 23, it fucking impresses you, right? And also, his career was downhill for some times, and for about 6-7 years, he was back in trend again. He was trendy again at the time, and he was like the coolest, the funniest. It made a record in reggae. It made two records in reggae, and he went in Jamaica to record with musicians of Bob Marley, Ozarm, etc., and the other one called Bad News from the Stars. Two very good records, and he used Bob Marley's record. And after these two reggae records, David Bowie did Let's Dance, and so he went to New York to record a record of white funk with the musicians of David Bowie at the time. And he made a record called Love on the Beat, which for you would be love, like making love on the beat, right? Well, on rhythm, right? Except that in French, la bite is your dick. So love on the beat is like so Gainsbourg. It's like, okay. And also at the time, he had turned into a character. It turned into a second character. There was Gainsbourg, and the second one was Gainsbar. And he would, like, for instance, explain who Gainsbar was. Gainsbar was drinking 102. Did you guess he's drinking a 102 here? I will need to explain you this for your culture.
Go ahead.
You know, in France, you've got this pastis called 51.
Right, okay.
And he would drink double 51, so that was his joke. Right. It was like a full thing. That's Gainsbourg drinking a 102, like very famously.
There's a museum now. His house has been turned into a museum, and they've got a bar there. They need to serve 102.
Yeah, 102. Yeah, like the photo is cropped, but in fact he's talking to another photographer.
Oh yeah.
And I only see a little bit of his jumper, and his camera is Leica M5. And looking at my negatives, I traced back the photographer he was talking to, and he's a guy called Herman Selslags from Holland, who did a lot of photos with Frank Zappa and the Beatles, and he was shooting Gainsbourg for a biography out in Holland. That's what he was doing, and the photo to the right is taken in April '88. I think, Push, we were again together at this concert. You saw Gainsbourg with me, right? I think, But anyway...
I'm so jealous of this.
And Serge Gainsbourg was born in April 28, so this is Serge Gainsbourg's 60th birthday party.
Oh, wow. So another French icon, Cantona. What's going on here? How did you end up doing this one?
I like him because he's a real character. I every time I meet him, it's a pleasure because he's a character.
So you don't only do musicians. Occasionally, there's somebody who catches your eye or your interest outside.
Well, yeah,
the world.
because Cantona is so rock and roll, tu vois. And whenever he is, I met him 3 times, and every time it's a pleasure. I really like his attitude.
We're nearly about to finish this, but I just wanted to say, if you have any questions for Richard or for me, in fact, get thinking about them now. I'm just going to ask a few more, but I'm just planting that seed in your mind if you want to ask some questions. So subculture is something you also photograph. You know, non-famous people. You know, you've got London Punk here, which is a photo that's been used to, in fact, advertise this exhibition, which is a great one. And also,
is she your family? No.
No. Yeah, there's a lot of us about. And you document what's going on at the time, like politically.
Brixton. Yeah. I do this in Brixton. Yeah.
Right. You know, this was such a big thing politically in the late 80s. And Another thing you also do quite often is to feature.
Paul Tax was early 90s, not late 80s.
Well, it was brewing though, wasn't it? Thatcher was talking about bringing.
Yeah, it was
the end
brewing,
of
but the word Paul Tax only appeared in the 90s.
Yeah, but it kind of finished Thatcher. So another thing you often do is you feature crowds. This is Donington 91, I think.
Yeah.
You chose this as the cover for your book rather than choosing a famous person.
Correct.
Why was that?
Because I knew that if I knew that I couldn't have a photo of a musician. If it was a book about music with the face of Bowie or Robert Smith, people would have assumed it was a book about these bands, right? Yeah. And I keep hearing musicians saying that they only have a career starting the day they have people on the front being excited. This is how you know as a musician that your band is famous or successful. You've got excited people down the front waiting for your concert. And I really, really, really like the energy. There's like a ton of stories around this photo because the guy in the middle with a thumb up contacted me on the internet 17 years after I'd taken this photo. Says, hello, it's me. We became friends. His name was Richard, like me. He was making shows on stage under the name Crazy White Sean. If you can remember that and Google, you're going to spend a wonderful evening in front of your computer. And he died in 2014, and I went to photograph him at the morgue, dead, but only here he has the thumb up because Metallica are about to go on stage, and I photograph him the same hand, only down because he's dead, with
That's the picture in the book.
Yeah,
I wonder what that was.
Yeah, with a joint between the fingers for cremation for him to make a beautiful trip because he died in Amsterdam. And he was performing. He was making like he was like a extreme artist, and he performed in Lyon for my 50th birthday party. For my 50th birthday party, I had him like hurting himself and Anton Newcomb of the Brian Johnson Massacre DJing. It was a beautiful evening.
Oh wow!
You know?
Well, straight after this, as I say,
and the last time I heard from him is a friend of his who said his daughter would like to go and see The Cure in Amsterdam, but it's sold out. Could you have her a ticket? I was asked to put this guy's girl on the guest list of The Cure. 35 years later, it never stops.
I meant to ask you, un œil sur la musique. Are we meant to interpret that as an eye on music or one eye on music?
One eye.
Yeah.
Because
it's a saying, it's a phrase. Yeah.
One. And also because it's capital U.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Fair point. So listen, straight after this, we're going to be signing copies of both our books at the back there. But I just wondered, are there any questions for Richard or even for me? Anybody? Don't be shy.
No?
They're all terrified of you now, Richard. They're just terrified of you.
Are we done? We can go to the bar? No?
Oh, God. What was your favourite experience, a concert or any kind of photography experience? Or it could be one of your favourite. It doesn't have to be the favourite.
I tell you what my favorite photo is, because I look at it a lot. I brought it here. I'll show it to you, and you'll probably agree with me. It's a photo I took in April last year, 24. Yeah, because outside of music photography, I sort of have like one thing that I photographed for 30 years. I started in '95. I photographed solar eclipses. I photographed the sun, okay, in a funny condition, or like in Lyon. I figured out that every year on the 28th of June at 8:35, there is a small window under the cross of the dome of this big monument, and the sun goes through the window, and you can photograph the sun directly without filters, under the cross of this construction in Lyon called l'Hôtel Dieu. So I did this completely by absolutely accident. I was walking, I say, fuck, this is absolutely, the sun is so small and the sky is so big that if you manage to get the sun through a tiny window and have an extraordinary light, shit. So this was 28th of June, 21, 8:35 p.m. So the next year, I say, fuck, it might happen again. So I go again. I've got it again. So 2 years in a row, I photograph the sun through this window under the cross in Lyon. I'm in heaven. So I get confidence. So the third year, 23, I call all my friends. I say, let's go to Lyon. We have a party. I'll show you the sun. It's beautiful. And this happened. So we're all very happy. And then 24 happened, but 24 is a leap year. And I smoke tons of joints, but I cannot figure out whether I should come the same day or the day before or the day after. I have absolutely no idea. Like, I do not know. So I just say, fuck it, I'm not going. Okay? And 25 this year, I went again, and so again, I have the sun through the window under the cross in Lyon, Hôtel Dieu, from Le Quai aux Gagneurs, et voilà. So every year, non-leap year, there is this beautiful view of the sun that you can photograph directly and without filters. And this is really, really exciting to be creative with the light, and also considering the size of the solar system, being creative, just you and your big mouth, it's pretty good. So this is one thing I got with the sun, and also the solar eclipses that I photographed for about 30 years. And I photographed one last year, and I show you the print. I take the photo when the eclipse is just about to occur. So the only remaining light that you have is the light that comes through the deepest valleys on the surface of the moon. And you've got like this, and it only lasts for a couple of seconds, and you can shoot the sun directly without filter. And so this is really, really, really exciting. This is, okay, voilà.
I want to see that.
You probably weren't expecting an answer as exact as that, the date and the time. Anybody else?
Okay, so I will give you I will now give you a tip for photography. So next year, on the 12th of August 2026, 12th of August 26, 95% of the sun will disappear over London.
Okay.
There's going to be a very important partial eclipse. 95% of the sun will disappear. So what is the result? Is you still won't be able to look at the sun directly because you will have this 5% remaining. But if you just look behind you, you'll be absolutely surprised, because you're very much used to look at your shadow on the street with the sun, who is really, really soft, because the sun is like big, right? And so your shadow is very soft. And when 95% of the sun is not there any longer because of the moon, then the light becomes really, really, really sharp. And when you get to that, so it's going to be like 8-ish on 8 p.m. Next year, then you make sure that you have a white wall behind you, and you look at your shadow, and you cannot believe how sharp your shadow is. Like you would have like your two spikes, super, super sharp.
And you should tell Robert Smith, he'll get a good picture of this now. Yeah. Right, anyone else?
Okay, and so make this it's fun, right? And also you no, well, do that. 12th of August, and if you miss it, there's another one, I believe, on the 6th of August 27, and it's going to be 90% of the sun disappearing this time round. So you have two very important partial eclipses over London in the next in the 2 years coming.
Well, I don't see any hands up, so I'll be signing Curepedia at the back. Richard will be signing his book. Should we just get over there now? Thank you very much. So I want to thank HENGE, thank all of you for coming, thank Galipette Cidre, which is quite nice, DJ Mark Hex playing some tunes downstairs, and once again, thank you, Richard.